So I just finished this book called The Age of Revolution. Well, I didn't just finish it. I finished it a few months ago. But it got me thinking about the impact that countries have on the entire world. I thought today would be a great time to share some little fun facts about how the Dutch have truly impacted this entire world. So stay tuned for that information. So the first category is feeding the world. And I know a lot of people think about the Netherlands as being this little teeny tiny country, and it is a small country of about 18 million people. But did you know in 2023, the Netherlands ranked fourth as the largest exporter of food, right behind the United States, Brazil, and Germany. For me, that's just mind-blowing that a country this size exports that much food. And if you are a fan of bacon, yep, thank the Dutch. They're the #1 exporter of bacon. And while we're on the discussion of food, the second category is really everyday things that we buy. And I just went for some grocery shopping and I picked up some carrots and they were orange. And guess who's responsible for that? Yep, the Dutch. Maybe this is one you kind of know about, and it's regarding gin. If you are a lover of gin and tonic, you really want to thank the Dutch. The precursor to what you see now is gin, is what the Dutch had, which is jenever. The Dutch jenever is a juniper flavored spirit that was created many centuries ago. And there are many distilleries here in the Netherlands where you can go and buy some. So that's just another interesting fact about the Netherlands. Number 3 is all about money. Did you know that global commerce actually started here in the Netherlands? The Dutch were the first to create the first multinational company called the Dutch East India Company. They're also responsible for the blueprint of what is today the modern day Wall Street, I guess you would call it, and it was the Amsterdam stock market. So before you had Wall Street or the investing app, the Dutch were responsible for creating what we now use as the stock market. Number 4 is all about water management. There's a saying, God created the earth, but the Dutch created Netherlands. And back in 2005, there was a Hurricane Katrina, that devastated the city of New Orleans in my home country of the United States. And afterwards, the U.S. actually picked up the phone and called Dutch engineers because these guys' superpower is water management. And they are really helping not only the state of Louisiana, but states like Florida as well with their water management. So when we do have those natural disasters, we'll be a bit more prepared. So the 5th way that the Dutch have impacted this world is really in the field of science. Many years ago, there was a Dutch scientist named Antonia van Leeuwenhoek. I hope I got that right. I'll put his name at the bottom of the screen. But he actually used to build his own microscopes, and he was able to use this to be able to see bacteria and yeast, and it really laid the groundwork for the field of study that we call microbiology. And the second Dutch scientist was actually an ophthalmologist that created the Snelle eye test. And so when you go to an optometrist to get your eyes checked and they're asking you to read that chart, thank the Dutch for that, because that was invented here. So our 6th category is all about legal and social progress. And this really is interesting because the Dutch kind of laid the groundwork to show other countries how they could do this. And in 2001, the Netherlands became the first country to legalize same-sex marriage. No fuss, no drama. Other countries have really followed the model that the Dutch have used. And if that wasn't progressive enough, the Dutch became the first country to eliminate stray dogs. And they also have a no-kill policy in animal shelters here, which means that a lot of Dutch people will go to animal shelters to get a pet versus going to a breeder. So the 7th way that the Dutch has really impacted the world is really around urban planning. The Dutch don't just have bike paths, but they reimagine their cities and towns around people versus cars. Yes, there are over 35,000 kilometers of dedicated cycling lanes in the country, but they also have made space where people can walk through the cities without having the fear of being run over by a car, because things are so segregated here where there are walking paths, there are bike paths, There are lanes for cars and there are lanes for public transportation. So I'm looking at you, United States. Look at the Netherlands and figure out a way to plan our cities a lot better. The eighth way that the Netherlands has really impacted the world is with fair trade labels. So have you ever looked at a bag of coffee or a chocolate bar and you see a fair trade label? That was actually started here in the Netherlands. The concept around the fair trade label is to make sure that the products that are made, that the businesses are respecting employees, they are respecting the planet, and they have ethical business practices. The ninth way that the Netherlands has been able to impact the world, or at least have a mindset shift, is with police rats. And no, you heard me right. Back in 2013 in the city of Rotterdam, Dutch police decided to train rats because it's cheaper, easier, and quicker. These rats are able to sniff out drugs, gunshot explosives, and gunshot residue and explosives. And the test that these rats are able to do is actually more accurate than some lab tests. So I think that that is just pretty unique to be able to just kind of think about things in a completely different way. So the 10th and final way that the Dutch have really impacted the world is regarding speeding tickets. In 1958, a Dutch rally driver invented the world's first automatic speed camera because he really wanted to improve his laps. And then the police were thinking, this would be a good way for us to measure the speed of drivers. So the next time that you're speeding, yeah, I guess you could thank the Dutch, or maybe stop speeding. I really hope you've enjoyed listening to these 10 fun facts about how the Netherlands has really shaped our modern world, and hope that you will take this as an opportunity to explore maybe where you live or where you're going, to really appreciate cultures and how they impact everything that we do. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to keep enjoying the journey. Bye-bye.